contributes to the premiere episode of JabberCast, a Hunger Games podcast hosted by Jabberjays.net. Today is Friday, March 14, 2014, and you're listening to Episode 1, Let It Fly. My name is Crystal, and I'm calling in from Honolulu, Hawaii. This is our premiere episode of JabberCast, so we're going to start with introductions. So we're going to first go to Tash.
G'day guys, I'm Tash from Victoria in Australia. I first found out about Hunger Games when I was doing some random web trawling in about 2011, and everyone was sort of talking about it, and I said, what is this? I have to read it. And yeah, I guess that's history.
Okay, let's go to Jared.
Hey, I'm Jared, obviously, but I'm from Vidalia, Georgia, and I first found out about Hunger Games. I think I saw a movie first, and there was like 1 billion people lined up to see it. So this has got to be pretty good. And the previews were awesome. It was so intense when she was rising out of the arena. I was like, oh my god, these kids are killing each other. So I had to see what that was about. And of course, I read the books, and I read them in like all of them in probably about 3 or 4 days just together. And so then I've been hooked ever since. So it's been awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and last but not least, we have Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I'm from the Gold Coast, Australia. I first found out about the Hunger Games. It must have been like 2010 or something, and I think I was in the library, my local library, and was like kind of in the young adult section, and I just kind of picked it up. And then ever since, I read it really quickly, and then ever since I've been a fan.
And I forgot to give my own story. Basically, my auntie, she was hounding me, telling me, Crystal, you gotta read this book, The Hunger Games. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get to it, And she kept bugging me. I was like, I didn't get it yet. She's like, oh, okay. And so she doesn't usually get me birthday gifts, but one day she's just like, Crystal, I bought you the book. I'm sending it to you for your birthday. So she gave it to me for my birthday, and yeah, that was basically it. But I remember I got to the end of Catching Fire, and I was like, what? The third book isn't out yet? It was coming out. I was so lucky. The book was coming out like a week later.
Oh, thank God.
That's good.
So I didn't have to wait very long. But yeah. So, I mean, some of you might recognize me and Tash from, recognize our voices. And it's because you may have listened to us on previous podcasts before. So, I mean, we're just doing this for Jabberjays.net. It's always a lot of fun to talk, just talk Hunger Games. So that's why we're doing this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we called it this episode Let It Fly because it's kind of like, we're Jabberjays flying, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, it's catchy.
You guys get it, right?
Sounds good.
Alrighty, so I guess, I mean, the DVD just came out a week ago in the US. I feel bad because it hasn't come out in Australia. We have two Australians on the line, and they're still waiting for the release. But yeah, so, but,
4 more days.
Yeah, but, some deleted scenes got leaked online, and then other ones got officially released. So we're going to talk a bit about those deleted scenes, and I guess we can talk first about the Finnick one, because I think that's a pretty big favorite of people. Have you guys have all seen that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys think of it? I mean, I saw so many screen caps of like Sam like choking himself. I mean, everybody loves that one, right? But do you guys think that it should have been cut, or it should have stayed in, or what? Or
Finnick's like my man, so I just wish he got more screen time, as always. But I mean, if they cut it out for like pace issues and stuff like that, it's like understandable.
In
the
final film, I don't remember. Like, was there any kind of thing about not tying with him, or was that the only scene and it got cut out?
No, that was it.
Oh.
Yeah,
I think that was it, yeah.
Oh.
Which is disappointing because it would have been interesting to like see his background come into play, like his fishing background and stuff.
Yeah, I guess especially leading into Mockingjay. I mean, we're probably going to see him playing, with the non, and we're, for I suppose non-book readers, it's sort of like, oh, where has this habit come from?
That's true. Yeah.
Right. He was never really, even his trident wielding wasn't really played up all that much for me, and so I think it would have been cool to include the rope scene because it showed his character as well too, and I thought he kind of was more settled in that scene with even his American accent. I thought he did a better job there.
Yeah, I'd pay that. Yep.
I guess too. It also showed more of his funny side, because
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's supposed to be a very charismatic, funny person, right? And all we really get to see is him talking to Katniss at the chariot scene, and then the next time we see him is in the arena. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I would have liked that to stay in the movie somehow, just because it establishes him as a funny, likable guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, it would have been interesting to see how like charming he can be and stuff like that, because he's like in the capital and he says like people pay me with like secrets and stuff like that. It would just been interesting to like show people how like interesting and funny he is and like why he's so likable in the capital.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is I liked how she jumped when he came up to her, because
Yes.
he's so presumptuous in how in his proximity to people, that he just assumes that he can just go up and like
Right.
stand right behind her and it's fine.
Yeah.
And so that's another aspect of Finnick that I thought should have been left in. And then just to see her like recoil away from him, like, oh my god, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The other sort of thing that made me think of why maybe it had been cut was just to keep that ambiguity around Finnick, so that when he flashes his bracelet in the arena, nothing's really given away until that point. Yeah, when I sort of thought about it, I thought, maybe that's probably another reason, apart from pacing, that it ended up on the cutting room floor, just to try and keep some of the mystery around him.
Right.
The other thing too is it would have provided a nice juxtaposition between his self in the capital and how damaged he looks in the arena. It would have made that seem so much more like tragic, I think, just to see how it affects him for real. See Capital Finnick and then see real Finnick. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually missed a lot of it. I mean, we haven't had a scene, I don't think, of Peter painting the Morphling, just the still, but it seems like a lot was skipped over in that training sequence. I mean, unlike the Hunger Games, where you did get to see, Kato throwing things around and, Chloe with her knives and things, you didn't really get to see any of the other tributes and their skills, apart from the scene with Wyrus and Beatty and obviously Mags when she shows Katniss the arrow room. But
speaking of, I think because they released like the still of Peter painting like the Morphling, I was like so looking forward to it, and I was like looking forward to like their relationship, and then like out of the blue she just kind of like jumps out and saves him.
Right.
It just like it was a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
If anyone is listening in the production, we don't mind longer than, what was it, 2 hours? What was the front?
Yeah.
2 hours,
you
26
can have just
minutes
a couple more minutes. Yeah.
Or like if they release like extended versions like the Lord of the Rings movies, that'd be amazing.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I would love
I hold out
hope
hope for
Catching
some
Fire.
Yeah. I hold out hope for some like massive box set at the end of it after all four have been released. Hey, by the way, guys, here's all this stuff we didn't tell you about, and DVD. Wishful thinking.
There is a Twilight Forever edition of the DVD, so they can.
I'm not gonna lie, I have that.
They can have a Panem Forever. Katniss even says that in the movie.
Right, it's catchy.
we want that, Francis. Are you listening?
So since we're on the topic of Finnick, we can also go into that behind the scenes video that I think Target released, or somebody, it was Wired or something.
So
basically he was talking about this one time that he went looking on a fan site and it was the worst mistake he made. Because it was like a list of people that people had fan casted for Finnick and he wasn't on it.
I remember reading something about that.
I would have just loved to pick him up and wrap him up in a big cuddle and go, none of us knew who you were. Like, that's the only reason you weren't on any list.
Would that make him feel better though?
No.
Yeah, we didn't know who you were. So, I'd seen him in Snow White and the Huntsman.
I did.
So when him and like Jenna were cast as Joanna and Finnick, I was just kind of like, I think they're really, really good. And I think I remember going on my Tumblr and making a post about it. And I had like lots of people who had seen Snow White and the Huntsman like agreeing with me, but like everyone who hadn't seen it were just kind of like, no, who the hell is he?
Yeah. When I clicked with who he was, I was happy with it. I thought, cool, I'm fine with that. Everybody, you need to give this bloke a chance.
Yeah.
Just, cut him down in flames already. And what cracked me up the most was just when I saw that Sam thing, I thought, oh, Sam, I wish you had have gone online the day that everyone saw those trailer photos of him in the fake tan. Because basically everyone did a complete,
everyone
180
freaked
from,
out.
he's the worst casting ever to, oh my god, he's perfect.
Well, the other thing too is he was on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, and that was a kind of bad photo of Finnick. Like his hair was all like morning hair, and his eyes were bulging. It was like, oh.
And I still have a problem with that cover for spoiling the movie. Bad Entertainment Weekly, bad.
Definitely. Because it's like, why are Katniss and Finnick wearing the same outfit?
And then the whole Katniss and Finnick go to war. I'm like, thanks, E-Weekly. Thanks for that.
It was just really interesting because I had a couple of friends who were like so heavily against him, like all the way up until they saw the movie, and then it was really interesting to like talking to them after seeing the movie, and they like completely changed their tune, and I was like, what have I been telling you for like the past 6 months?
The whole time.
Well, I was one of those people, but it wasn't anything against him personally.
No.
It was just because I had a different person in mind for Finnick. I wanted Garrett Hedlund. And so I just got so fixated on that, and when they announced his casting, I was like, no. But and then he started posting on Twitter after they finally announced it, and he's so nice. How can you not like him? He just seems like such a nice person. So.
And he seems like really dedicated to the role because he like worked out and like bulked up like a lot for it.
Yes.
So if he's willing to do that, like anyone who's willing to go to the gym for anything, basically, it's just like that's fine.
Yeah, I think Francis hit on a good point. He always made a point to say like how Finnick really, when he auditioned, the thing that caught him wasn't necessarily his looks; it was just really his heart, and he seemed so sweet. I think that's really true. That's what, when people watch the movie, that's what they connected with. And I guess that's ultimately what we take away is how we connect emotionally with the characters. And so, if they're good looking, great. But if we connect with them, that's really what what's important.
Absolutely, especially someone like Finnick, moving into Mockingjay. Catching Fire is my favorite book, but really. The most you learn about Finnick is in Mockingjay, and if they didn't get him right, it's the end two movies that would suffer more than, and he nailed it.
He did, and it would have been interesting, like, because if they did get someone who was like, so obviously Finnick, to see whether they could have acted like that vulnerability, and like the other facets of Finnick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I had said I was going to reserve my judgment until I saw the movie, and then when I saw the movie, like I was just like, wow, he's great. He's a great Finnick, and I mean, he has a really nice, easygoing, charming smile, and I was very happy with how it.
I just want to send him some kind of basket or something. We love you. We're so sorry. We hope we've made up for it 1,000-fold.
Yeah.
But not just send him some chicken and asparagus. Though.
I know. I was just going to say, make sure that's not in there.
I just wonder, whether he, goes on fan sites now to, see how much people love him.
I don't know. I hope so. Because, I haven't really seen anyone say, oh my god, he was awful.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I've seen anyone say that, so...
Surely, at least, if he didn't... his family are very active on Twitter, so I'm sure, and even his wife, Laura, I'm sure some will have passed on the message.
Yeah, they'd let him know.
And the premiere, I mean, God, everyone was screaming for him. So, I mean, if that doesn't give you a clue, then he can't be saved.
Alrighty, let's move on to another deleted scene. Let's do the train station one, because I watched that scene 4 or 5 times, and I was like, what is she saying?
Right.
I had such a hard time understanding what she was saying, and I didn't know until someone commented on Jabberjays and said what it was. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. I just couldn't hear it, and so I thought, well, maybe that's why they cut that scene, because the audio was kind of mumblish or something.
Mumbly. And look, personally, I don't know if you all agree with me, but I'm happy that one was cut. I don't think that would have added any value to the final film. I think it actually would have been confusing because she never establishes with her family on film why they have to leave. It would have I don't think it would have made any sense with what else was happening in the film.
Yeah.
I bet you all those extras at the train station were upset, though.
Oh, God. They probably were devastated.
Yeah.
But I feel the same way as Tash. I felt like for me it was almost kind of cheesy. I was surprised they could, because even when she whispers we're leaving or whatever, she's facing the people who are 5 feet away, And so it's almost even a secret. I don't know. It just didn't feel right. And I loved it. It was so much more intimate when she said that to Gail. Like she and Gail were talking in the movie. And so I liked that idea came up there because that's really felt more like it would be in the book. That's where I really connected with that moment of them deciding they wanted to leave.
Yes. And the other thing was she says the exact same thing to both of them, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was a little not so good.
And where it would have been in the film, I don't think would it, like, because it's pre rolling out. I'm assuming it would have been pre Romulus thread rocking up. So, contextually on screen, you're sort of going, oh, hang on, why is she telling them we've got to leave?
Right.
Like, just because, like, she thinks we failed, but, none of the actual consequences of that failure have actually turned up yet.
And I was like, didn't they live with her? Or no, maybe they didn't. They had did they have their separate house in District 12, or did they live with her?
They lived with her.
So then why would she feel, I would think that would not be the most opportune time to announce it anyway. Like, if you're going to go see him at home later on, y'all could kind of go talk about that later on anyway. So
exactly, catch him in the yard or something.
Right.
not instead of in front of the train station, in front of all your 50 most closest, nearest, and dearest.
Right.
Okay, so another deleted scene. I don't think this one came out online, so I don't know if you guys saw it. But it was a pretty decently long scene with Plutarch's Heavensby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good, but I'm not sure where it would have been in the movie. So
yeah,
and I think maybe they might have cut it because it might have been pushing the audience a little too far, thinking that he's bad, and I think they probably wanted to have people teetering on the edge of is he or isn't he?
Right.
And like if you see him switching the cards, and it's like, oh my god, he's so awful, right?
Right.
Yes.
I was really disappointed though, like that they didn't show his like watch.
Yeah.
But then I thought that may have also been a little too obvious when I thought back about it. If they showed the clock, or the Mockingjay, and that may have been a little too much. In the book, it didn't seem that way because I didn't catch it in the movie. I feel like I might have been like, wait a second,
Yeah, that's true.
There was also one little detail about the announcing of the quarter quell that I missed because we saw the photos of them filming, and there was the little boy with the box.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in there, they just show him like pulling it out and reading it. But like in the book, they're watching, and Mrs. Everdeen says kind of like absentmindedly, it must be the reading of the card. And I really like that small little detail because for Katniss, she wasn't alive at the last quarter quell, so she probably doesn't
have no idea.
So she doesn't know what they're doing. So I kind of missed that, but minor. But yeah, I missed that.
There was also the scene of Snow and Plutarch in the office.
Oh yes, how did I forget that? Discussing the Jabberjays.
Yeah.
It's very relevant to us.
Yeah. Torn on that one. Bummed that it didn't make it, but I can also see why.
I can see why too.
Yeah. I think it would have broken the tension too much in that scene, given everything else they were talking about. It probably would have just ruined the moment.
Because
so I'm really hoping
the way they edited that, it's kind of like a cliffhanger chapter. Because they end the scene with he says what we call a wrinkle, and then it just cuts to the next scene. So it kind of, I don't know. I thought it transitioned well. So
right.
Yes.
And maybe why they cut out the previous scene. I don't know if it would have cut to him walking down the steps or whatever. That would have been kind of like intense to kind of boring walking down the dark steps.
Yeah. So. Look, fingers crossed. Like I commented, I actually think that they've still got plenty of time to explain the Jabberjay or the meaning behind a Mockingjay in Mockingjay Part 1.
Right.
So I hope that we might get a line or something if we're lucky.
Yeah, actually going back to what Jared was saying about the Plutarch scene was I totally lost my thought. Sorry. It's gone. Oh, okay. I know what it was. Like, if they had shown that scene in the movie, like, it relates to what I said about Mrs. Everdeen's comment. People who hadn't read the book and were just watching the movie, they might have been like, what is he doing? What is this card?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess later on it would have been explained, but I don't know. I think watching it, people would have just been like, huh? So.
Yeah, I found that, like, a lot with these films, though. Like, the first one, I don't think they explained, like, a few things that, like, non-readers would understand. And like the three-finger salute and stuff like that. I was like, and like I was sitting in the theater and I was like, none of these people have like any idea Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what it is. And then I saw Catching Fire with someone who had never seen or never read the books, and he hadn't even seen the first one, weirdly enough, like the first film, and he was just sitting there the whole time, like leaning over to like another person, being like, "What is going on? What is this?"
I had that in my second viewing of it, but kind of in the reverse. It was one guy who had seen the books, and every time something happened, he was turning to his friend who obviously hadn't seen it. Oh, that's not the way this happened, and blah, blah, blah. And I just turned around at one point and I said, dude, just shut up and let him watch. Like, tell him at the end why this, and this, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have
Right.
annoyed me
Everyone's, like,
so
reviewing.
much.
I remember him really outraged Gail, like when Gail, that's not what happened.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, oh, mate, just relax, enjoy it. It turns out fine. Like, yeah.
Oh,
All these
boy.
different reactions you get.
Was there any other deleted scenes? I mean, there was the one at the hub, but it was very short, and I don't
Oh,
know.
it was super short.
Yeah, I don't know if I would even consider that a whole scene.
Not sure if I've seen that one.
Well, I did like that they placed us in District 12, because we didn't really see a lot of District 12 in this movie other than the Victor's Village. And so I know we saw like the whipping scene, but then again, in the next movie, I don't know if I can say spoilers, but it's obviously, oh no, he said there is no District 12 in the last one. And so it might have been nice to ground us a little more in District 12, just so once it's destroyed, we can't see it again, really, unless they do flashbacks. And so I might really like that, to get us a little more attached to District 12 before it, goes up into flames.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
true.
glad that what was there, because you're right, otherwise the opening of Mockingjay Part 1, everyone's just going to be like, oh, where is this?
Yeah, actually, that's a good segue into another topic. So we just started our Mockingjay read-through piece, our series. It's called Through the Pages, and we just went through chapter 1, and so basically we just we read through one chapter every 2 weeks, and we make predictions on what we think is going to make it into a movie and how they're going to interpret the book into film and stuff like that. So, you want to start off, Tash?
It's a ton of fun. I mean, those of you who might remember, we did it in the past. Jump in again. I mean, it's terrific to read everybody's comments and how everyone differs. And we usually find that between everybody, you think of things that you didn't actually think of before. So it's a great way also, to go back and revisit the book, and, someone might come up with a completely different viewpoint and you go, oh, actually, that sort of makes sense. So I kind of find chapter 1 sort of always the hardest in a sense. I mean, when I did Catching Fire, sort of thinking, oh, there's so many ways, it could open.
Yeah.
Mockingjay I found it maybe a little bit easier because they're going to open with a devastated District 12. But then given so much of that chapter was in her head, you sort of think, well, hang on. How are they going to explain the escape? How are they going to show that Gail and her mother and Prim and so many other residents are alive? When do we first get to meet Coin? Those kinds of, things that run through your head. And then even the little simple details that are simple on the page, like stuffing Buttercup in a bag.
Yeah.
One commenter raised, well, hang on, isn't that technically animal cruelty? And I sort of thought,
yeah,
oh,
I was like, I'm sure they're not going to actually do that to a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like gently put the cat in the bag.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like,
that cat could be getting paid money, y'all. It might be worth it.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of movies.
Yeah. So
there was someone on Twitter that was asking us, I guess they hadn't read up on like the behind the scenes stuff, so they were like, why is the cat different in the movie? And I replied, and I was just like, oh, they knew that fans were pretty upset about that black and white cat.
Which was like such a trivial thing to be like upset about.
I know, but at the same time, it was still a trivial thing for them to miss in the first movie.
It's like, I'm pretty sure it's easy for you to find like an orange cat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They must have, but the only thing I can think of is maybe, was there some kind of pool of cats or something, and at the time someone else had the ginger cat for the movie. They couldn't get anything else to hiss, so they had to get the black and white cat. Like, I keep wondering, that's the only way I can justify it in my head, that they tried and maybe, the orange cat was booked out.
There's just like a limited pool of like actor cats.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always possible that Gary Ross cast an orange cat and it was just a total diva and he couldn't
Right.
stand it and he fired the cat.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yep.
mean, it's cats, you know.
Exactly.
That's how cats are.
But the other thing that's probably really kind of funny, but I suppose they had a limited CG budget. We didn't get good mutts, so obviously they didn't feel they could change a black and white cat to orange in
Yeah.
post.
See, that's where Linda Flowers could have helped, you know?
Yeah.
Make a cat
Original.
wig.
Cat wig, yep. I'm sure V. Neil, makeup challenge. Bit of makeup on the face.
Oh god, can you imagine the nightmare of putting makeup on a cat?
Oh, God.
Welcome to JabberCast, guys, where you never know where the topic of conversation is going to go.
Oh.
But I just love that was another thing, I suppose, the cat that people who were still doubting that Francis Lawrence, like the decision of new director, like, oh my god, this is going to be the worst thing ever. And then a few people came on board, and then as soon as that cat changed, bang! Oh my god, best director ever! He's fixed everything. And I'm like, oh, people, I'm pretty sure we've still got a little bit more to worry about than just the cat. But
Right.
if you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember after seeing Catching Fire, I was like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me captured Catching Fire. So
Absolutely.
and yeah, when you watch the DVD extras, I don't know if you're gonna. I don't think you have the Target edition, yeah.
Oh, we kind of do.
You do.
JB Hi-Fi here have got a limited 2-disc edition Blu-ray, and it has got the extra features that the Target edition does.
Okay, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, get that.
Yeah,
Hannah. So yeah, if you're an Australian and you're listening, definitely go for the JB Hi-Fi Blu-ray.
Yeah, because I watched the Target exclusive thing all the way through because that one was only 45 minutes. I haven't finished watching the 9-part Surviving the Game one yet because that's like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, that was the Walmart edition? I think I went to Walmart and I watched like 2 hours of extra scenes.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
really good, but I just ran out of time and I haven't had time to go back to it yet. But
Right.
the Target one was really good though, and I mean, when you get to see it, like you'll see interviews with Francis Lawrence and Nina Jacobson, and the way they talk about the story progression and the character arcs and stuff like that, I don't know, I was just left kind of amazed because I just felt like, wow, these people get it. They love Catching Fire and Hunger Games just as much as we do, So I felt really good watching the extras.
That's good.
I'm looking forward to actually listening to the audio commentary track that the two of them
I have
done.
never done that ever in my
I know,
life.
me neither. It is extremely rare for me to ever listen to the audio commentary because you think, oh my god, this is just going to be crap. But those two for their points, I think it'll actually be good.
Yeah, I find it more interesting when actors do the commentary.
Yeah.
This is a
Because
good
they
time
talk about the.
to put on record that we want to have audio commentary with Josh and Jen.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yes, and Josh, Jen, and Sam, like all three of them.
Imagine it would be a 2-hour-long movie phone unscripted.
It would
Yeah.
be
It would be the best thing ever.
So epic.
It'd be really funny.
Yeah.
But I bet they'd go like so off topic.
Oh god.
It would be worth it. Some of the thoughts in that girl and that guy's head.
Yeah. And like they'd probably see like a scene and just be like, "Oh, do you remember what happened that day?" And just go off on like little tangents about like stupid like pranks that they pulled on set and stuff, and it's really funny.
And then the next thing, the movie ended. Oh, sorry, we didn't get to talk about the whole back half of the film.
That is a
Maybe
good question to pose to them if we ever meet them again at premieres and stuff like that.
Yeah. Maybe they have. Maybe they tried.
Maybe they tried and they just couldn't get over their giggling or something.
And Francis Lawrence is just like, we can't use this.
Probably.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? I would have really liked like a bloopers.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen any really.
Yeah, we need bloopers, Lionsgate.
I
mean, there's so much behind the scenes, like goofy stuff. It's funny and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just like official blooper reels.
Yep.
I love those.
I can just like imagine like something stupid happening, like Sam accidentally hitting someone with his like trident, and just all these like accidents just because they're all just like messing around.
Yeah. Imagine if that one that they did talk about was unseen. You remember when Phoenix said the end, like the little knob bit on his trident that they used for digital or whatever came off and hit Jen in the arms. And she thought something had bitten her. Like, why did someone not have that on camera?
And remember when Jen was talking about how when she and Josh, she was crying or whatever, and they had the big, I don't know if I would want to see this, but the big long snot string from her connecting to him.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, gross as that was, it's kind of funny to see stuff like that.
Yeah, they talked about that at
dedication.
Comic-Con, right? When they were talking about their kiss.
They did. She's not
Dedicated
good with
acting.
bodily fluids. Because if you
No,
watch
I know.
THG, you see her leave a spit bubble on Rue's head.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
There's
Oh,
different
watch it, you
spit
do.
string from
She
her
totally
and we
leaves
get-
us. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, just.
So poor, Rue, she spat on poor Amanda. She's snot all over Josh.
Right.
Jennifer's getting real dedicated.
So who's gonna get hit in Mockingjay 1? It's
Yeah.
gonna be Gale. They're gonna kiss and they're gonna part and there's gonna be something on his face.
Like Cruel Intentions. The slobber string.
Ew.
All right,
Sorry,
so
we
let's
hope
go
you
to
can
our
eat
next
with
topic, and then we're gonna start wrapping up. So Lionsgate has come up with 3 charity auctions in the last week, I think. One is a charity buzz for a set visit for 2. That doesn't include airfare. And then there's another charity buzz auction one for a non-speaking walk-on role in Mockingjay. And then there's a Prizeo one. Am I saying that right? Or is it Prizo?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. What? Prizeo, whatever. But that one you can make a donation anywhere from like $10 to $1,000. So I mean, the charity buzz one is clearly for rich people.
Yes.
But yeah, the Prizeo one is more for like everyday fans because you can donate $10 for an entry and then you can try to get Twitter entries and things like that. So you just have to make a small donation, or you can enter like by sending a postcard and stuff like that. But I don't know. Have any of you ever done that? Entered by postcard?
No. I normally write postcards all the time. I just must have forgotten to write my postcards to them. That was I've never written a postcard in my life.
Sorry, Lionsgate. Yeah.
But I really admire the use of these whatever the charity events that they're taking advantage of stuff like this. I think it's great. Like I said, it's not like we're going to spend our college fund on trying to get on set, because there's important things for us who can give. I think that's a great reward, and even to allow a chance for people who can donate $10 here and there. I really I appreciate that. I love that.
Yeah, it's a really nice cause.
It is. Yeah.
But one key thing to say, I mean, off topic, but still on topic, is that it said in the auctions that filming ends on April 18th in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then they're going to move to Europe, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
So, Jared, I don't know if you wanted me to mention this, but Jared's been an extra for Mockingjay, but he can't give us any details because we don't want him to disappear suddenly.
Right, I don't want to get like a bag over my head tonight or something, but I signed like a non-disclosure agreement, but yeah. So actually this is cool because for the fans who are near or around Atlanta, if you want actually not a free, you get paid to be on set. I mean, it's basically like chum change, though. It's like minimum wage, but still you can go through CL casting and you can submit pictures, and actually you don't have much longer because if they're filming Atlanta till the 18th of April, but you can just apply online and get to be on set. I got to be on set. I didn't see any of the principal actors, but my brother did, which was really cool. So he told me all the cool stories, and I just worked late hours into the night in the freezing wet weather for a couple scenes. But he had a really
just
cool
had
time.
it better.
Oh, he definitely had it better. But I say it's a good opportunity to see what sets look like because most of it is just blue screen, and you're like, how you're in a parking lot with blue screens and you're filming these huge scenes. And you're like, how is this going to come together? It's amazing just to see how the movie gets made and how much work goes into the tiniest things. And so I would say, if you can't pop out $10,000, look at CL casting and try to submit because it's a cool experience. It's not always the coolest, it's long hours and it can be cold, but it's cool.
Yeah, and casting agencies like that cast background, they're always looking for lots of people so that they have a lot of people to draw from. And if you want to submit, you should definitely take very recent pictures. Like, take new pictures to submit them. They don't want a picture of you from last year because if you show up and you look completely different, they'll be pretty upset. So
Yeah, and like, you know what? Oh, instead of paying to be on set, you can get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And you meet other people who are fans of the films as well, you know? And so I think it's cool to have a time where you can come together and kind of fan out with your, new friends.
Yeah, and being an extra is a lot of waiting. So
Oh, God, it's a lot of work.
so basically
you
all
make
you have
that
to do is you have a ton of time to talk to people around you, right? So
Right. But hey, you're not paying money. It's for, it's a
Yeah.
good experience for the most part.
yeah.
And it's Hunger Games. Come on, people. It's cool.
And we're looking forward to 2 years' time when you can tell us all the stories.
Oh my gosh. I'm dying to tell y'all things.
So
I know
watch this space.
But Lionsgate, my mouth is sealed. They should be proud of me.
That should be you did very well.
You're
Right.
very controlled.
Yeah.
Your
I
self-control
would have
very
been the
good.
Jabberjay. Blah blah blah.
But yeah, I mean
Right.
they're gonna go and move and film in Berlin and Paris. So Carla's in Berlin, so we've been like looking, watching for any kind of casting calls over there. Maybe Carla can be an extra because that would be really
Yeah.
awesome.
That'd be really cool.
All right. So just a couple mentions before we wrap up. We have a giveaway going on right now for some etched cups. A set of 3 etched cups with the 3 different book Mockingjays on them. They're really gorgeous.
They're so
Okay.
pretty.
And yeah, so make sure you guys go and enter for that giveaway for that because that's going to be ending next week, I think. So
19?
yeah, don't miss that. I think it ends on the 21st. Not sure, but
Oh, okay.
it ends soon, so don't miss out.
Yep.
Anything else you guys want to say?
Only just looking forward to all your comments, guys. If there's something you want us to talk about next time or elaborate on, or maybe you've got a crazy theory you want us to talk about, leave it in the comments. And we'll definitely add it to the list to talk about in our next Jabbercast.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get some other people on here we have a staff of 16 people, so we're going to be looking to get a wide variety of our staff on these podcasts so that you can get to know each of us a little bit each time. So, yeah, just keep your ears peeled for that.
That's it.
Okay, so thank you everyone for listening to the premiere episode of JabberCast. Be sure to visit us at our website, www.Jabberjays.net. You can follow us on Twitter at HGJabberjays, and you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Jabberjays.net. And that's it for this episode.
Wait.
Huh?
You can find us on Instagram at Jabberjays.net.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Hannah is our Instagram editor, so
Yeah.
she does an awesome job.
Thank you.
Okay, so bye everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Yo.
Bye.